people don't know that I go to these things. They're not on my official calendar or my campaign calendar. I just go and speak to like 500 farmers and encourage them not to comply. Like, that's not part of my official job. But I tweeted the other day, because this is absolutely true, and especially true with farming and food. Noncompliance is more effective at getting rid of bad laws than voting. Like, that's how another way of saying this is that policy is downstream of culture. Mm-hmm. In other words, whatever you do, if you do it long enough, it's gonna, they either have to ignore the laws that are in place or they have to change them. And so I'm encouraging, so you talk about random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
I'm talking about small acts of noncompliance, like with the mask mandate. Okay. I'm not saying like on airplanes. It was not my goal to get drug off an airplane kicking and screaming, right, as a U.S. congressman. But I would quite frequently forget to put the mask back on. Or I'd sit down and the airline stewardess politely reminds you need a mask. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. And then you put it on, and then you have to get those peanuts in your mouth, so you take the mask and you just somehow forget to put it back on. Like, whatever level of
I ate so many peanuts on those planes. That's why I gained 20 pounds.
The COVID-20, it was from eating peanuts. But whatever level of noncompliance, I don't know how I got off on this tangent.
Small acts of civil disobedience.
Yes.
I like that, because you're basically telling people to live free in an unfree world, and that to me is like, we fight all these things, and this, you could view this episode as a dire, dark prediction of a totalitarian state. But the only way to push back against that is people that are still willing to practice their freedom on a daily basis.
Correct. To the degree that you can without being ostracized. Like, I'm not saying
without getting dragged off the plane
or fired or whatever degree of noncompliance you can accommodate and still provide for your family, you're obligated to engage in.
Yeah. So,
if the law is unjust, and so many of them are.
Yeah.
Rule. Some of them aren't even laws.
Well, the mask thing wasn't a law.
I know. I was sitting on an airplane, and they came on the intercom, this is during COVID, and they said, federal law requires you to wear a mask. And I thought for a second, like, wait, I vote on these laws, and I read all the bills, and I haven't missed a vote since COVID started. In fact, I've been dragging people to vote, and this is not a law. And, I had a little campaign on Twitter and Facebook to remind everybody it wasn't a law. And eventually they changed the announcement. They didn't say federal law requires anymore.
Yeah. But the cost of proving that point by getting dragged off a plane and then going to court, and I don't even know if you can succeed at such a thing. So I want to go even darker here, because we've been talking about the creation of Homeland Security and the weaponization of the federal government against the American people.